Welcome back to another video. My name is Casey. This is Casey Burns Investing, and today in which I'm recording this is March 19th, 2020. I only say that because every time I make one of these videos, by the time I put out the video, the entire landscape of the country has drastically shifted. All the rules are different, and I don't even know what's going on. What's going on out there in present world? Is it raining kittens? Is the United States in an oil price war? Did they forgive student debt? Is it raining $1,000 bills from the sky? Am I even alive? Somebody please check on me down in the comments section. If I don't respond within an hour, I'm definitely not alive because I don't sleep much. So what we're going to be going over today is my 2008 story. It gives us a little bit of insight into my mindset and just where my mindset comes from. We're going to be talking about some tips, maybe some advice, a little bit of just level-headed speak for people that are investors right now in this volatile market. The market is just sinking and sinking every day. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow. We're just getting circuit breaker after circuit breaker. It's been interesting to watch. And after that, we're going to be talking to people who just lost their income, people who just lost their jobs. And we're just going to try to go through some options, some things that I see out there. I tried to compile as big of a list as I possibly could. We can talk down in the comment section below, but these are some opportunities that I see out there. As far as I see it, there's a lot of problems in the world right now. So if you want to, prosper from this, what you need to do with those problems is you need to get out there and solve them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but let's get into this. All right, my 2008 story. Now, I don't ever want to come on here and front like some financial guru, like I know it all. No one knows it all. Everyone's learning every day. No one could have possibly predicted this circumstance. I mean, yes, the market was overvalued. Yes, people were overspending. Yes, there's a lot of debt, but no one could have possibly predicted exactly what ended up happening. Now, I don't ever want to come across as talking down to the viewers. I love the viewers of this channel, and I really want this to be more of a community, more of a conversation. What we've got on our hands is a little bit of a crisis, and I just want it to be more like we're sitting around, the table, and we're just thinking about how can we get through this? How did we get through this in the past? So as we do get through this together, I just wanted to share a little piece of me, a story from my past. It's a very personal story, but I think it underscores a little bit of my mindset and how I think that people can get out of this crisis. Another point of me sharing everything that I'm sharing with you guys today is to just provide a level-headed voice out there. I feel like there's so much panic out there as far as just the health pandemic. I feel a deep personal connection to this as far as like having my finger on the pulse of this situation because I do work in one of the labs that sends out those tests. So I feel like in some ways I'm kind of in the epicenter of all of this. I can see it from the inside perspective rather than the outside perspective. People that, you see all these people on Facebook that suddenly have these very professional medical opinions. Now, as a lab tech myself, I don't necessarily have that MD or that epidemiologist opinion about the spread or about the transmission or anything like that. But I do at least see how many samples are coming in, how many are going positive. But I just really want to encourage everyone to just remain calm in this situation. We all go some way. I just think people need to just chill out and just realize, look, don't worry about whether you're going to die. I promise you, you are going to die. If you're not going to die, comment down below. How? I would like to know. I would really like to know if anybody down there is not going to die. Maybe the military changed me. Maybe the military corrupted me. Maybe everybody should go into a little bit of military service, to just get rid of that fear. We had this captain that used to talk to us about what it is to be in the military. And he would take this jelly donut, right? And he put it on the table. And then he had this glass bowl. And he put the glass bowl over the jelly donut. He said, you see the jelly donut? The jelly donut, that's America. You see this glass bowl? This glass bowl, that's the military. The military protects anything from hitting the jelly donut. And right now, something is stepping on the jelly donut. And the jelly donut is very, very afraid. It's very interesting to see how afraid people are. But anyways, what am I getting at? Please just don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. This is life. Death is a part of life. My heart does go out to people who are affected by this, but We just got to chill out. It's not going to help. No one ever made better decisions in any situation because they were afraid. No one ever made more rational decisions. No one was ever more productive because they were afraid. Now, caution is different than just being afraid. Take your precautions, protect your elders by not going out, but the fear, it's got to stop. We got to stay level-headed as a community, and it's got to stop. So my 2008 story. In 2008, we were doing very well as a family. There was really no indication that, anything was going to go bad. And then at that time, we lost one income. My father lost his income. At the time, he had one source of income. But during that time, during that crash, when he was laid off, they had over a year's worth of expenses saved up. So we didn't really feel that hit, There was a little bit of panic in the household, which if anyone out there does have children and you're experiencing panic, I would encourage you guys, there's split opinions on this. I would encourage you to just not hide that from your kids, because that was one of the most formative things in my childhood. I needed that. I needed to see that. I needed to see what happened to my parents. I needed to see how my parents got out of that. They had savings set aside. They ended up diversifying their income, and now they're millionaires. They came out of it and they are prospering now. So that's how I feel like everyone can come out of this situation and prosper. The decisions that people make during this crisis are going to be instrumental to the type of wealth that you can build over time, because in my opinion, this too will pass. So if this doesn't pass, then this is just the end of humanity as we know it. And you shouldn't be buying toilet paper. You shouldn't be hoarding cash. You should probably be getting canned food, dry food, bullets. But nobody's doing that. People are talking about bank runs, but I digress. And lastly, to just reiterate, they did not hide anything for us. They didn't hide any of this situation from me. So the fact that they plugged me into the budget, the fact that they showed me how much money was coming in, they showed me how much money was going out. They showed me what they needed to do to get out of the situation. And we always talk about it as a family. We talk about, generational, especially as a Black family. I said this in my other video about Black families, and it was, you go back enough generations in Black families, you're going to bump into slavery. And, every generation, we're just trying to move forward the knowledge, move ourselves forward, advance every time, every generation. Having that knowledge was just instrumental to me starting out at a position that was ahead of them. You should want your kids to start out ahead of you. If your kids aren't doing better than you, then you failed as a parent. Anyways, let's move on to the next thing, and that is advice for investors and how I'm keeping a level head just throughout this whole market volatility situation. So as we know, this whole market volatility situation, I was going to show you guys on the screen, but I'll just go ahead and screen record it later, and I'll just put it behind myself or something. I'll just show you guys a little bit of it. But I don't actually own a ton of individual stocks right now just because I'm paying off my student debts. But what I'm tracking, instead of tracking the prices of the stocks, what I am looking at is trailing 12 months statistics. In other words, if the economy were to go back to exactly what it was, what would these companies look like? What would they be selling for as far as price to earnings multiples? What would those dividend yields be? And what I'm doing is I'm tracking those dividend yields, because as prices go down, dividend yields go up. So someone who tracks the dividend yield, someone who tracks those earnings, what you really see is that as prices go down, you're getting better and better deals. You're getting higher and higher yields. My goal in the first place is not necessarily to get capital appreciation. My ultimate goal is to be able to cover my living expenses with dividends, with rent checks, with things that I don't have to work for. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to stop working when I get to that point. Maybe I can take on a little bit more risk. Let's say I pay off my house and I have enough money to pay my bills without, having to work for it. Well, now I can take a lot more risk on in life. That's my goals. So how do you do that? There's a thing called the rule of 25, which I've gone over in this channel before. What the rule of 25 is take your monthly expenses, multiply them by 25, and then you can have a safe withdrawal rate of 4%. So let's say that you're either getting a 4% dividend rate, which is pretty easy to find out there, or let's say that you were just withdrawing 4% of the account every year. The stock market on average goes up 7 to 9% per year. Probably a little bit lower than that this year, but we will see what happens by the end of the year. I've already got my retirement number. I spend about $30,000 a year, so I've just set my retirement number at $775,000. My monthly expenses are just over $2,500. My annual expenses are about $31,000, and that's pumping it up a little bit. So basically, for me to cover all of my expenses, I need to get out $31,000 of passive income. So once that passive income becomes cheaper, that is a good thing for me. When the passive income is becoming cheaper, in my mind, that is a bull market. As long as these companies aren't cutting their dividends, as long as they have a strong balance sheet, this is a great thing for me. And as long as I have enough cash around to be buying these stocks, to be buying these investments. So if you're a long-term investor, or if you're a dividend-focused investor like myself, this is a great time to be buying, because the cheaper you can get these stocks, the cheaper you can get this cash flow. And if you do want to have some type of financial independence, the faster you're going to get there. The faster these prices go down, the further they go down, and the more stocks you buy. If you're trying to get to financial independence through dividends, or even through withdrawing through your account, as those earnings go up, which earnings tend to go up over time as they print more money, you see them printing more money, you see them giving out money. The monetary system is just going to continue to pump more money in, and people holding on to dollars, they're just going to end up being losers in this monetary system. So I just see this as an opportunity to buy more cash flow for cheaper. So what's the tip? Unless you're a trader, instead of tracking stock prices for the plan of, I'm going to sell this later, track stock prices for the plan of, how much passive income can I get from this share? Or if it's a non-dividend stock, how much earning power am I buying the right to? How much cheaper are those earnings? If I'm buying a Google, how much cash do they have on that balance sheet that I'm buying the rights to? And I'm buying it for cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And that is a good thing every single time. Unless things drastically shift in the marketplace or within that company, that is a good thing every time. If somebody wants to sell you their shares for cheaper tomorrow, that is a good thing. If you're willing to pay more, you should be willing to pay less. If somebody wants to sell you their shares for even less the next week, that is a good thing. They call the stock market a wealth transfer from the patient to the impatient. If you're patient and you're in the situation to buy stocks in the first place, this is a good thing for you. This is a great thing. Just stay safe as far as your health goes. So anyways, that's all I have to say about the stock market investing and how I'm just keeping my mindset. I'm very calm as far as this, just because I feel like I'm in generally good health. And even if I do get the, I will, one, shelter in place, because if I don't feel like I'm dying, I'm not going to clog up the ER. But if I do feel like I'm dying and I do need to go to the ER, or let's say I do end up perishing, I don't know, maybe I will, I'm not going to freak out in the meantime. That's just not productive. It doesn't help you do anything to freak out. Let's get into these income source options. So number one, I've gone over this on the channel before, and that is Uber and Lyft. So they are doing some interesting things right now. I actually reactivated, coincidentally, like right before this whole, like, they're not taking new drivers just because so many people are out of work now. They said, don't quote me on this. They said that Uber's driver service is basically meant for good economic times. In other words, they're not used to this many people being out of work, so they're not accepting as many new drivers. You might be able to get in there. I think they might have shifted it, but who knows? The way that things are shifting, I would at least give it a try. Your car has to be at least 10 years or newer. You can't use Uber Pool anymore, but other than that, everything with Uber and Lyft is pretty much the same. Number two, a lot of my friends over at Bloodworks, my friends at the American Red Cross, they're noticing that as people are staying in, people that require blood, they're not having as many, people to donate blood. So if you can use that as an income source, your blood, that is not the most glamorous thing. But if you are in a crisis mode and you feel like that's something that you can stomach, is, giving away your blood, potentially selling it, then that is an option for you. All right, the next one's a little bit more personal. And we've got a large population out there that's, stuck in their room playing Call of Duty, and probably get a little bored, and they might do something to occupy that time, however much time that is that they've got on their hands, whatever they've got on their hand. Anyway, you see what I'm getting at here. There's something that you could be doing and getting paid for it, all right? Or if you're a female, you could be donating eggs. So donating blood and donating other, we'll just call it other. You could be donating something else. There's something that you're doing already, you could be getting paid for that. So, all you single guys out there, consider doing that. It's about, last time I checked, I think it's either $50 or $60 every time you go in. So, I mean, it's $0 right now. I mean, $50, $60 beats $0 and a puddle of regret. All right, this next one is a little bit less serious. I don't know. I don't know what I wanted to, whatever. I'm just going to spit it. Being a surrogate. I've had some friends consider doing this. I've never actually met anyone who did do this, but that's actually like a full-time career. Like some people just straight up, like that's just their job, is just being pregnant. Like, I don't know, maybe this breaches someone who wants to do that, but that is an option out there. Hopefully things don't get that bad. But some people don't even find it that bad. They just want to do it. All right, number 4 is hospital receptionist. Now, if they do start popping up a lot of hospitals, we will see this surge as far as the demand. But additionally, I was just browsing through the job listings, and hospital receptionist is basically the first person that they see when a patient comes into the hospital. And you don't need any college, you don't need any training. You're basically just a front desk person. That is a job that is still obviously up and running. Obviously, we're trying to get as many hospitals running as possible. Now, these are heavily borrowed from a channel called Meet Kevin. Some of you guys may have come from over there. Some of you guys might also be subscribed over there, but I know that my family is only subscribed to me for the most part. So I just wanted to put some of these options out there. People are hitting me up, really freaked out. But number 5 is loan processor. So loan processor, you're basically going to help in the loan originator. And what is going on a lot right now is that since interest rates are so low, which they're actually doing some strange things, which I'm not going to get into in this video, it's not within the scope. Basically, people are doing a lot of refinancing on their homes. The loan originators need help. It doesn't require any college. So if you can find a local lender, if you know anybody in the real estate industry, if you know somebody in the lending industry, figure out if they need a loan processor, figure out if they need any help. All right, number 6 is Fiverr. So you can go on there and you can do a whole lot of digital skills. So now is a good time to hone in on your digital skills. Maybe video editing, maybe you go become a video editor for somebody. Maybe you go be a videographer, maybe you go be a photographer. Do you have a camera? Do you have an iPhone? Do you have even just like a gimbal? Do you have, iMovie? Could you put something together for somebody? Could you do voiceovers? Could you do tutoring online? Do you have any skills that you can offer over the internet? Now, there's a lot of them. I mean, you could start a YouTube channel. You could start some type of, basically personal branding thing. You could start some type of, any type of social media presence, anything over the internet. There's plenty of stuff out there, plenty of options. So number 6, Fiverr, social media, internet businesses, things of that nature. Number 6 is picking up a new trade or doing some manual labor. Now, a lot of contractors out there need laborers right now. I've got a buddy who's actually working on the UW Medical Center, and they need laborers over there. People who are building things, they're still building things. In addition, you could do something like go become a real estate agent right now. You could, go take your real estate agent test online, and, you could go get another skill right now. Any test that you can go take online, this is a great time to do it. Perfect time to do something like go to a coding boot camp. I know people who have gone to coding boot camps and then they make a ton of money at Amazon. You could go start working with a plumber, see if they need any help. You could go start working on, somebody who's building houses, whatever. Just trying to get out there, trying to network, trying to, just do some type of manual labor. There's plenty of stuff out there. As of recording this video. All right, the next one is being a wholesaler. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to go find this deal and they're going to profit the difference. So let's say there's a home that's worth $260,000. They're going to go in, they're going to buy it for $180,000. They're going to sell it to an investor for $200,000 and they're going to profit that $20,000. So wholesaling, that's actually something that I'm looking into. I'm not even necessarily out of work, but it is a great side hustle. I know a lot of people that have regular jobs, and then in addition to that, they also wholesale. Got a friend, he works at Boeing, which, yeah, it's March 19th, 2020. He also wholesales. From what I hear, there's plenty of opportunity out there to be a wholesaler, and just in my personal opinion, in general, there's always just as much opportunity out there as you believe there to be. So if you don't think there's any opportunity out there, when you look out there, you're not going to see anything. So anyways, let's move on to the last one. So the last one is working for Amazon or Target. Now you could deliver for Target, or you could work in the Amazon fulfillment centers. Both of those places are seeing upticks in their business because people are stockpiling toilet paper. So if you want to get in on that toilet paper hype, make sure that you go work for Amazon or Target. Anyways, hopefully these tips helped you out a lot. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you do like the video, comment down below. Maybe I'll send you guys some toilet paper, and I'll see you guys in the next video.